is the story of a deal. Now, this one deal was so very beneficial to society. One day, sometime after the Second World War, the United States government invited these two journalists in order to negotiate a deal. They said basically, hey, you guys are journalists, you guys are going to make a lot of money now because the television is booming. So, why don't you, out of your 24-hour broadcast, keep aside 1 hour to discuss controversial topics, current affairs, basically the news. And these two guys, they were reasonable men, they were good journalists, they liked their own companies. They said, you know, why not? This feels like something which is inherently good, so let's do it. And that is how broadcast news, working for the welfare of society, was born. So what did this deal do exactly? Well, it gave us this. This is old 60s journalism, and that man is Edward Murrow. He's known to be one of the greatest journalists ever, and in this particular piece, he's taking down Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, who was, let's just say he hated communists. So, what else did that particular deal give us? That woman over there is Kellyanne Conway. She was an aide for President Donald Trump of the US. And over here, this guy is asking her why President Trump and his associates lied about certain numbers. To which Kellyanne Conway gave a fabulous reply. And this leads very well into my segue, because she said, hey, Chuck, look, there are facts and there are alternative facts. Alternative facts. Hi, my name is Manas, and I welcome you all to a post-truth society. So, what is this obscure and absurd post-truth society that I said? Well, society is a dynamic institution. It changes as its ingredients, that is, we, the people, change. Let's look at, let's say 50 years ago, we had a society which believed in one fundamental singular truth. A truth that would be beneficial for society. It's that simple. But today, we have our own facts, we have our own beliefs, and therefore, each of us has our different truths. That is a post-truth society. It's funny actually, the word post over here is a Latin prefix, which generally means after. But in this case, the word post actually, poetically, it means beyond. So a post-truth society is a society which is beyond the need for one singular truth. So if you look at society now, it has essentially become a battleground of multiple truths. Your truth often would not coincide with mine, and there would be conflicts. So who in society then gets to decide which truth to adhere to? There is one particular institution in our global liberal democratic process which is designed for this particular purpose. Those people have the perfect vantage points to actually look at society from up above and tell us what to do. If you're thinking about it, yes, it is the news media. It is journalists. The media essentially has a moral authority to give us the news which will essentially guide our behaviors, give us the truth, and it will basically lead us to a welfare society. Today, we have a different institution on our hands. We have a media which plays the job of a truth negotiator. Inherently, the job of the media is to safeguard our democracy by giving us the truth. So, what happens when the media falls asleep on its job? Well, it's easy. A post-truth society is also full of autocrats, authoritarian leaders, and charismatic authorities. So when the media is asleep on the job, these people run amok, they run wild, and they abuse their powers. The media is supposed to be the guardian of something called an Overton window. An Overton window is a set of beliefs. It's a basket of beliefs that we all as a society have agreed upon, we believe in, we find them acceptable. Our leaders and majorly charismatic authorities, They often try to shift this Overton window according to their whims, their fancies, their beliefs, and their truths. The media essentially has to prevent that from happening. It needs to set a norm. Let me paint you a word picture. Our leaders make very emphatic and very emotional pleas, and they stage it up in front of the media. Then our media acts as the truth negotiator. It puts in front of us multiple truths coming from multiple leaders of ours, and it lets us go. And then we, the people, we, the consumers of the news, we actually subscribe to one of those truths. I particularly do not see that as a good thing happening, because that truth is not our truth. It is a truth that is given to us by people who want us to believe in that. They want to subjugate our rights because they want to stay in power. And they are using the media to stage it all. How are they doing this? Right? In a post-truth society, the nature and the method of delivering the news has evolved. Up until a few years ago, news basically meant a desk, a person sitting behind the desk and giving you the news in a rather hoarse, deep voice like this. Now that has changed. I'll tell you why. Sometime in the early 2000s, the news started dropping its ratings. Less people were watching the news. So they did the best thing that they could think of. They wanted to create drama for you on your TV. They wanted to give you men wearing suits shouting at each other. They wanted to give you fights. They wanted to give you very emotional appeals. They wanted to show you content which would actually make you feel. And herein lies the difference. Because this was news which made you feel, not made you think. Now, broadcast is not the only institution suffering from this. Let's look at subscriber-driven new digital media. This includes a platform like News Laundry or some platform like Substack, which delivers you subscription-based newsletters or content. Now, one good thing is that these people are doing some good work. They are doing great journalism. They're actually getting us closer to one truth. The problem is, it's expensive. No one can really manage to dish out $1,000 for 1 month of a few newsletters and a few interviews. Therefore, only one specific economic class is able to purchase those services. It inherently creates a class divide. It inherently polarizes. Next, let us take a look at our favorite institution, social media. Let us look at your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Facebooks, and especially your WhatsApps. First and foremost, the algorithm in these platforms is designed to keep you on the platform. The moment I pick up my phone and open Twitter, I find it incredibly difficult to put it down. Now, why is that? Because when I consume one of something, Twitter chokes me with 10 other things, which are similar in nature. It is because all news media accounts are present on Twitter and they want your clicks. How do they do that? They give you breaking news. They give you sensational news. Now, this breaking news culture mixed with the click culture is not good for us. It is not getting us any closer to the truth. In fact, it is taking us farther and farther away from the common consensus which will drive us to the welfare. All the things that I said, the broadcast, the social media, as well as the subscriber-driven media, is creating something called news as a service. This isn't a real thing, I made it up, but it is news as a service because we get to choose the facts which we want to read. We get to choose the information which we consume. We create our own beliefs and we make our own truths. So, here we are, 2023. So what is the real impact of all this? Okay, sure, we don't get closer to the truth, fine. What is the impact of all these news? This creates a gap. A gap between what, you ask? It creates a gap between our beliefs, the beliefs that we get from all these media, and our actions. And mind you, this is not a small gap. Ideally, our beliefs and our actions are supposed to go hand in hand. Our actions should come right after our beliefs. But there is a wide gap. Allow me to paint a picture. I believe that a particular government, a particular municipal corporation building in a village should have its name written in a majoritarian language of this country instead of the local language, basically. That's a belief. Congratulations. What do you do with that belief? Ideally, write to your elected representatives, hire a lawyer, file a PIL. But what do? We vandalize it. This is a real incident. It happened around a week ago in Washim, in Maharashtra. That is the gap between our beliefs and our acts. So then again I ask you, what do we do? Well, firstly, damage control. Because we are now a society that does not want to believe. We are a society that essentially pushes things away by saying that they're lies. That man is lying, that man is lying, that man is lying. And inherently we believe no one. It needs to stop. This needs to stop. Just a few days ago, I was watching the news with my father. And, it was all nice. We had just had a great dinner. We were thinking of ice cream. My father, while, casually picking his nails, he just pointed at the TV and said, "This news channel, it's biased." And we laughed. It seemed funny at that point. We laughed. But then it got me thinking. So if this channel is biased, what if the channel next to it is biased too? What if all of Marathi TV news is biased? What if all the Hindi news with its gaur se dekhe is chehre ko is biased? And even the English mainstream news, the nation wanting to know, what if those are biased too? What if BBC and Al Jazeera are biased? What if wire news agencies like AP and Reuters are biased too? Where do you draw the line? What do you believe in? If you stand for nothing, what do you fall for? Therefore, I find it necessary for us to create a threshold of disbelief. A threshold of disbelief basically means that there is a limit to which I will not believe in something. And beyond everything that lies beyond that limit, yes, that is my belief. It can be my truth. That's the first step. Finding something to believe in. And to find something that you believe in, you will need to consume the news, my friend. And you will need to consume a lot of it. Fret not, I'm here to guide you. I'm a consumer of the news too. So, here goes. This is free advice. You'll never get free legal advice ever again. I get my news from Twitter. What I do is, I follow all news channels. Everything. I follow all government institutions also. They are supposed to tweet out official things. And you do this because these are the people who you can hold accountable. So follow them. Follow everyone. Follow Op India. Follow Communist Party of India. And follow everything in between. Done? Simple? Good. Now, take a break. You've actually managed to break the algorithm. You see, if you follow everything, Twitter cannot decide what should I give you. He follows everything already. How can I give him something only? That is wrong. Maybe drink some water once you've done this. You've actually broken through the echo chamber. Take some rest. Take a few deep breaths. Done? Good? Now consume it. Read it. Read everything on your screen. Consume it. Chug it. Bottoms up. No questions asked. Chug it, consume it, till you cannot take any more. How do you feel? Do you feel very happy? Do you feel sad? Or do you feel angry? Or any other emotions? Good. You're supposed to feel that. It's designed that way. Now take those feelings, put them through a sieve, and all you will be left with is information, facts, and maybe even the truth. I ask you again, what do we do with the truth now? I don't know. Think about it. Think about what you can do with the truth. Think about everything that can be an act based on this truth. It can be staying silent. You would want to stay silent. Maybe you would want to vandalize a building. Maybe you would just want to go to a friend and say, ki, hey, look, I found this truth. You can write about the truth. You can read up more about the truth. Do something about the truth. And think before you do something about the truth. Those two journalists who I talked about in the beginning, whose picture was not showing up for a long time, those two journalists negotiated that deal so that we would benefit as a society, so that the news could take us to a better society. We are supposed to swim against the current with the help of the media. A post-truth society may have autocrats, authoritarians, and in general people who want to subjugate everything you stand for. Hell, even a spineless, invertebrate media may be a hallmark of post-truth. Sure. That doesn't mean we should be spineless too. So, what do you do with the news media? Look, breathe, and think. Thank you. That